Students, so we were discussing balancing chapter. Okay, so we have just covered introduction part about balancing, what is balancing. Then we are discussing now problems on balancing. Okay, so we have just covered two problems on balancing. So today we will be taking third problem on balancing. Okay, so here, so we have studied what is the definition of balancing. Okay, today in this part of a lecture we will be taking problem on balancing. Okay, so we have studied that what is horizontal force and what is vertical force, what is resultant and what is the angle. So you need to remember these four formulas. That is, horizontal force is given in terms of cos theta. Okay, m into r into cos theta. All these terms are in cos theta. Okay, if we are taking a vertical force, it is m into r into sin theta. All terms will be in terms of sin theta. Then resultant is nothing but square root of delta h square plus delta v square. Then angle, whatever the angle you are finding using tan inverse of vertical force divided by horizontal force. Okay, so yesterday we have taken these problems. So we will be having four masses m1, m2, m3 and m4, which are revolving at a different angles. M1 will be always 0 degree. Okay, then second angle m2 theta 2, so theta 3 and theta 4. Okay, this problem we have discussed. Then taking horizontal force, vertical force, then using resultant and angle, you are finding a balanced mass, and you are finding what is the angle at which that balance is mass, and that balance mass is acting. Okay, that we are finding. So today in this problem, next problem we are taking. See, whenever we are taking a problem, so suppose if we are taking this m1, so you are taking this angle theta 1 as 0 degree. Now whatever the problem we have solved, two problems we have solved, so it was given that the m2 mass, okay, was if suppose this is m2, the angle was given from this mass. And if you are taking m3, okay, suppose if you are taking m3, angle was given from here, okay, from mass 1. And if you are taking m4, okay, then the angle was given from mass 1. Okay, so if you just check this problem also, previous problem, two problems whatever we have solved, see 45 degree, 75 degree and 135 degree was from mass 1. Okay, was from here it was, okay, from mass 1. Okay, from mass 1. Okay, now next problem whatever we are taking today, see here it is given four masses m1, m2, m3 and m4. Okay, m1, m2, m3 and m4, 200, 300, 240 and 260 respectively, corresponding to a radii of radii of 0.2, 0.15, 0.25 and 0.3 are the angles between the successive masses are given now. Okay, successive masses means the angle, see, if you are taking these four masses m1, m2 and m3 and m4, so now previous it was given that the angle was from here. Now it is given angle from here and here. Okay, here and here it is given, here and here it is given, and here and here it is given. This means it is successive masses. Okay, successive angles between successive masses. How to find from here? Okay, now we want all the angles from mass 1. Okay, to find that angles from mass 1, so how we are finding? Say first angle will be always 0 degree. Second angle you have to add previous angle, that is 45 is given now. See, now 45 is given. Now you have to add previous angle, that is 0 plus 45, you will get correct angle. So then when the word successive used, you have to just add the previous angle. Now 75 is given, second Okay, this angle is given 75. Now you have to add previous angle, that is 45 plus 75. So you will get 120. So then last it is given 135. 135 means you have to add previous angle. Previous angle is 120. So you will get 255. When you have to use this method is when it is given successive mass is given. Okay, whenever successive mass is given, you have to use this formula. And the masses are, see, it is wrongly printed here. Okay, so it is mass is given 250 kg, 350, 290 and 310 kg. 4 masses are there and their corresponding radius are given. Okay, R1, R2, R3 and R4, and last is balanced mass R. Now you have to find what is the mass and what is the angle you have to find. Now what you have to do is just you multiply M into R. So that is 250 into 0.25, you will get 62.5. Then M2 R2 just multiply 350 into 0.2, you will get 70 kg meter. M3 R3 you just multiply 290 into 0.35. Okay, you will get 101.5. 310 into 0.4, you will get 124 kg meter. And now M you have to find, so keep M as it is. R is how much? 0.25. So 0.25 into M is 0.25 M. Now angle you have to find. So you have to find angle and you have to find what is the balanced mass. So whenever the word successive is used, you have to add previous angle. See, 45 is given, you have to add plus 0. Okay, 75 is given, you have to add 45, you will get 120. 120 plus 135, you will get 255. So these are the 4 angles which are given, because so it is not told from here. Okay, always you have to find from here. Now it is given from here to here it is given, and from here to here it is given. See, we want always the angles from this point. So always we want the angles from this mass M1. If it is given from this mass, you have to take directly. If it is given successive, you have to add. Okay, add previous angle to get that. Okay, so we have done the basic thing, that is M1, M2, M3 and M4 we have noted down. So here the values are given wrong. Okay, you just take these values here. Okay, and radius also you take these values. Okay, so these values whatever I have mentioned, M1, M2, R1, R2, R3 and R4 and R, these values you take. So this will be 0.25. Okay, 25. Okay, so now we'll proceed with the next procedure. So after finding this first, then you just take theta 1 is 0 degree, theta 2 is given 45, theta 3 is 120, theta 4 is 255. Now go on finding the value. Sine of 0 is 0. Sine of 45 is sine of 45. Why you are taking 45? Here 45 is. So sine of 45 is 0.707. Sine of 120 is 0.86. Sine of 255 is 0.96, minus 0.96. So minus also you need to take. Now cos of these values. So cos of 0 is 1. So cos of 45 is 0.707. Cos of 120 is minus 0.5. It is in minus. Okay. Next cos of 255 is minus 0.25. Okay. Now you just take M1 into R1, whatever the value you have considered here. Here M1 into R1, whatever you have got, 62.5, 70. All these values, all these 4 values we have noted here. Okay, M1 R1, M2 R2, okay, M3 R3 and M4 R4 and M into R we have just noted here. Okay, now we will find what is the horizontal force. So horizontal force, what is the formula it is given by? It is M1 R1 into cos theta 1, M2 R2 into cos theta 2, M3 R3 into cos theta 3, M4 R4 into cos theta 4. Okay, now M1 R1 is how much? From here it is, okay, M1 R1 is 62.5 into 1. Why 1? 1 because cos of theta 1 is 1. Okay, next is M2 R2 is 70. See, this is M2 R2 is 70 into 0.707. So M2 R2 is 0.707. Okay, so 0.707. Next M3 R3 is minus 0.5. Okay, M3 R3 is 101.5 into minus 0.5. Here it is minus 0.5. Then M4 R4 is how much? 124 into minus 0.25. It is in minus. Okay, minus 0.25. So we have noted down that. Now 62.5 into 1 will be 62.5. 70 into 0.707 is 49.49. So 101.5 into minus 0.5 is minus 50.75. Next 124 into minus 0.25 is minus 31.99. If you add all this, see, you need to consider minus sign also, otherwise you will get this value different. Okay, so then whole problem will be wrong. So now if you add all this, you will get 29.25. Okay, similarly vertical force, wherever cos theta is there, you replace with sin theta. Here wherever cos theta you are using, you replace with sin theta. M1 R1 sin theta, M2 R2 sin theta 2, M3 R3 sin theta 3, M4 R4 sin theta 4. Now M1 R1 is 62.5 into, see, sin value, sin 0 is how much? 0. So instead of here cos 1 is there, you have put this value. Now you have to put this value. So now 0. Next 70, that is M2 R2 is 70 into 0.707. So now M3 R3 is 101 into 0.86. Next M4 R4 is 124 into minus 0.96. Minus we have to consider. Now 62.5 into 0 will be 0. So now this will be 49.49. 101.5 into 0.86 is there. So this sin 20 is 86 is there. So if you just multiply that, you will get 87.899. Okay, then you are taking 124, that is M4 R4 into this sin of 255 minus 0.96. So if you just take plus into minus, will be minus. Okay, 124 into minus 0.96, you will get 119.66. Then if you add all these things, you will get 17.72. So one value horizontal force you are getting 29.25. So vertical force you are getting 17.72. Okay, so these value horizontal force and vertical force you have to find. See, if you just take all these problems, all the problems have similar procedure. So just you need to understand the procedure and solve one or two problems, so that you can easily score here. Okay, so because it is having same procedure. Okay, next we will go to next part of the problem, that is finding resultant. Resultant is given by square root of delta h square horizontal force plus delta v square. Delta h square is horizontal, delta v square is vertical square. Horizontal you are getting 29.25. From here you are getting 29.25. Vertical is 17.72. So that is 29.25 square plus 17.72 square. Okay, if you just squares 29.25, you will get 855.56. And if you just square 17.72 square, you will get 313.99. So now if you add both 855 plus 313.99, you will get 1169.55. Okay, now similarly here resultant is nothing but whatever resultant you are getting, it is also a force, so it will be having, so always it is m into r. So you don't know the value of m you keep as it is. R value is given, so for a balanced mass it is given for 0.25. what is the balanced mass he has given? Always this r will be given, so r value is 0.25. So 0.25 into m, so you will be getting square root of, okay, this value. Now 0.25 m is equal to square root of 1169.55. So now whenever you are taking square root, okay, in your calculator just press square root under root of, take bracket and then you take this value, so you will get 34.19. So you are getting 34.19. that is 0.25 is equal to 34.19. Now if you want mass, m is equal to 34.19 divided by this. Whenever you are finding m, so whenever this goes this side, it will be below, so that will be 34 divided by 0.25. so if you just divide, you will get mass is equal to 136.79. okay, 136.79. and whatever the value of masses m1, m2, m3 and m4 are given in terms of kg. okay, if it is given in terms of kg, you will get the answer in terms of kg. If it is given in terms of newton, then you will get the value in terms of newton. Now last step of your problem is finding out the angle, balanced mass, where it is acting, at which angle it is acting. To find that balanced angle, so theta is equal to tan inverse of delta V divided by delta H, that is tan inverse of vertical force divided by horizontal force. See these four formulas, that is horizontal force, vertical force, resultant and angle. These four formulas are very important. You need to remember these four formulas for this whole unit. If you remember these four formulas, okay, then easily you can solve all the problems. Now tan inverse of delta V divided by delta H, so that is tan inverse. How to take tan inverse, I have told you already. Just in your calculator press shift and tan, you will get tan inverse. So tan inverse of bracket, so delta V is how much? 17.72. so delta H, that is horizontal force, is 29.25. so that is we have found out from here, 29.25 and 17 point, see this value is 17.72. so now if you just divide, you will get 0.60. so 0.60 you will get. So just take tan inverse of 0.60, so you will get the angle of 30.96. so this value will get. Now see, if you are taking four masses, that is you are taking four masses, so this is m1, m2, m3 and m4. if you are taking these four masses, these four masses m1, m2, m3 and m4 can be balanced by one mass m of 136 kg, and it is an angle of, this is at an angle of, how much angle you are getting? 30.96. at this angle you can balance all these forces. so you can balance all this m1, m2, m3 and m4. You can balance these four masses using this mass m at an angle of 30 degree, 30.96. I hope you have understood this problem. okay, so here only the thing which is different is, you need to remember successive angles. See, in last two problems the angles was given directly from this mass, it is given this, the mass was given from here, so 45, 120 and 255 was given directly. Now he is saying successive masses. From successive means between these two, okay, and between these two. He has not given from here, so he has given between these two. To find that, you have to just add 0 plus previous whatever is there, you have to add. See, 0 plus 45, you will get 45. so then 75 is given, 75 plus previous you have to add. so next it is given 135 is given, so 135 previous is 120 plus 135 will get 255. so like this we have just taken these angles when it is given successive mass, and we have just gone through all these steps, that is finding out horizontal force, vertical force, and then finding out the resultant using square root of horizontal force square plus vertical force, then finding out the angle using tan inverse of vertical force divided by horizontal force. okay, so whenever you are solving, okay, just whenever you are seeing the video, just sit with notebook and a pen with a calculator and just try to solve each steps. Okay, then only you will understand. Okay, so in next class, next part of our video, we'll take one more problem, similar problem on successive angle, and then we'll just solve another one or two problems on this. Okay, so thank you.